Hee, boys. I got the KX lined up. We got a Team Wax sticker. We got a Squatted Squirrel Racing sticker. Don't ask about that. That's an inside joke. I got another Team Wax sticker. I got some coal hole scars on here. Should have got videos of that, but, you know, I didn't do that. Got my KX hat here. And, most of all, I've had some seat time on this KX, enough that I can say that I've got enough experience on here to tell y'all my story of why I switched from a CRF 230F trail bike to a race bike to do the same thing, trail ride. So I'm going to give y'all pros and cons of riding a Kx100/85 because they're pretty much the same thing in the trails. And I'm going to do a quick comparison, just quick comparison against the 230 and how they did in the trails. So got lights, we got camera, and we got action. So if y'all been sticking around the channel for a while, you know we like to do a lot of trail riding out in the east. We've never been out in the west doing any of that trail riding stuff, but I've had a CRF 230F, a brand new one, trail bike, built for trail riding. Then I switched to a Kx100 race bike to ride in the trails. So if y'all wonder how that's going, if you want to know if a Kx100 or 85, because they're pretty much the same, if you want to know if those are good for the trails, that's what I'm going to explain in this video. The pros and cons of trail riding, and I'm going to compare them, how they were in the trails against the 230. So stick around. So let's start this video off by discussing the engine and transmission difference between the Kx100 and the CRF 230F. Now the 230, I do understand it's a trail bike. It's not going to have near as much power as the race bikes do. But 223cc air-cooled 4-stroke coming in at a slightly unimpressive 19 horsepower. Would have been nice if it had more power, but don't get me wrong, it's got enough power to get you to where you need to go. But like I said, would have been nicer to have more power. KX here, completely different story. I don't even know how much horsepower it has, but I can tell from how much I've rode it that it's got a lot more power than that other 230 I had. 230, if you want to bring that front end up, you got to pull the clutch in. Now this, if you ain't careful with pulling that clutch in trying to bring the front end up, you'll dump it. So that's the power difference. That's just a 2-stroke for you. 99cc liquid cooled 2-stroke. I mean, it's going to have a lot more power. 2-strokes are known for that pretty much, for that power band they have. But that's a power difference between those two. And both have a 6-speed gearbox in them. Really nice for the trails. 6-speed transmission is. I mean, they both perform really well in the transmission. So I'm really happy with both of them, but power, KX takes that big time. Now I'm going to start getting into some measurement differences between this 100 and the 230. So let's start off with ground clearance. The 230 had about 11.7 inches of ground clearance, while this has an even 13 inches of ground clearance. 230 had a bigger gas tank, 1.9 gallons, while this has about 1.3 gallons. Now seat height, 230 was about 34.6 inches, and this is about 34.3 inches. I'm going to be honest, this thing does feel a little bit shorter than that 230, but I think I've grown a little bit since I got the 230, so that may be why. And something really nice that come with switching to this 100 here was the suspension difference. This thing has 10.8 inches of travel in the front and back, while the 230 had 9.5 inches of travel in the front and 9 inches of travel in the rear. I didn't even notice the suspension difference till I got this and started riding it a little bit. I'm loving the suspension difference. Now the weight was but the main kicker why I switched to a KX. This thing here, full of fluids, ready to ride, just about 170 pounds. And the 230 full of fluids, ready to ride, is almost 250 pounds. Now if you do the math, that's like about 200-pound difference between the Kx100 and the 230. Now, in the east, we like to do some hill climbs and all that stuff where you might have her down or having a situation where you may have to do some dragging. Big difference. 230 wore me out. One day at Blue Holler wore me out. Now this thing here, it's a whole different story. I can just get her up on a hill. If I don't make it, just grab that swing arm, twist her around, and back down I go, and I'm ready to go again. And that's something I really like about having this KX, and something that I do not miss at all on that 230. I'm going to get into the pros and cons of riding a Kx100 or 85 through the trails, but I'm going to start with pros because everybody likes good news first. We'll start off, like I said, with plenty of power. riding a wheelie through the trails can be fun at times, especially when you're going fast and just hammering that throttle down, but love the power, like I said. And another thing, really good suspension, riding through the trails with rocks and roots on this thing, just smooth as could be. Now on that 230 on rocks and roots, you go pop, 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 but no, it does not do that on this. It's just smooth, steady sailing on this baby. Another pro, like I said before, was it's very light. You know, like us, we like climbing hills, or, you know, we turn over every now and then, can't really help it. But going up a hill, you're not going to make it. Just whip her around, ride her back down, and try her again. Turn it over, just pull it back up. It ain't hardly nothing. On that 230, it'd wear you out, I'm telling you. And another pro, I think our last pro, for that some of y'all might consider a con, but I consider it a pro, kickstart. Can't really see it from over there, but kickstart is a pro because no battery, no extra weight. And what are you going to do if your battery runs out when you're riding your bike? Especially whenever if you kill it or something, you're going to need to start her back up, but your battery dies. What are you going to do? No worries with a kickstart. But like I said, you might get it could be a con for some people because you could get yourself in a sketchy situation where you could be sliding around like on a slope or something where that electric start would be good to ride her out if it dies. You know, the kickstart, it might be a sort of a burden, but I mean, honestly, I'd rather have a kickstart than an electric start just because of the weight. You don't have that extra weight, and it's just more convenient, so you don't have to worry about your battery dying. Now, a few cons, two-stroke race bike, I mean, you can't really lug it around when you need it. There's hardly no bottom end power. It's pretty much all top end because they're built to have wide open. And then, speaking of wide open, frequent rebuilds on these things. Little man was talking about reading the manual on one of these things, and it said rebuild approximately every 12 hours or so. I don't know if it's 100% true or not, you have to look it up, but I know you got to replace rings and pistons and all that quite frequently on these. A lot more frequent than on a four-stroke motor. Two-stroke motors do not last as long as a four-stroke motor. I mean, that's just how it is. They're a lot higher maintenance. Now, another thing, they're gas hogs, and they have smaller gas tanks, especially the 100s and 85s. 230, 1.9 gallon gas tank. I could go all day on one tank of gas. Now this, I have to bring gas. I mean, they're gas hogs. That's all there is to it. And they cost more money to ride just because you have to mix oil and gas. While on a four-stroke, you can just put oil in there and have your cheap $2 gas with you. Gas price is different some places, but this, it's a lot higher just because you have to mix oil and gas. But those are the cons. And, like I said before, the kickstart could be another con just because it depends on what kind of situation you're in, honestly. And one more con that's not 100% a con, but I'm just going to call it one. No headlight, no tail light. Now, 230 didn't have one either. I mean, there's only some dirt bikes out there that are made with headlights and taillights, like the ones that are built for enduro, like KTMs and Husqvarnas, and Honda makes them with headlights. It depends on what kind of bike you get, if they're going to have a headlight or taillight or not. The 230, it didn't, but I'm just going to call it a con anyway, just because. Now, they probably do make race bikes with those, but I'm just, I'm calling it a con, just because it doesn't have one, and it'd be kind of handy if you like to night ride like we do. But honestly, guys, the differences between this and a CRF 230F and the pros of having a Kx100 or two-stroke is the exact reason why I went to a Kx100 instead of sticking with the 230 or one of those four-stroke trail bikes. But that's my story. I mean, y'all do whatever you want with what I've told y'all, but I'm telling y'all why I did that, and just why I think the Kx100 is a very good bike for trail riding. Now, if this helped you guys, let us know in the comments. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. More riding videos to come on this 100, and keep checking the channel because we got all kinds of stuff everywhere on this channel. And I'll catch you on the next one. I've rode the same style trails on both of these bikes, and the gearing is really good on, oh my gosh!